What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy, Nxtgen 720, and I am back with another video. If you haven't checked out my last video, the link will be down below. Sony tried to pull some bullshit over on the gaming world and the YouTube community. That's crazy as hell, but shall I digress? Sorry about that. That's my Facebook group. Listen, guys, if you want to have some fun with this console war, join my Facebook group, Bang Bang not mine, I always say mine, our Facebook group, Bang Bang Nxtgen Gamers. Funny as hell. They be, they be cutting up in that motherfucker. They be, listen, that's all done respectful. Like, ain't nobody talking about nobody's family, no kids, no shit like that. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? But if you want to join that group, please don't come in and talk no peace talk, cause we all just get along. Because if you do, the ex-bodians and the ponies are going to jump the shit out you, and the Wii U widows, they're going to come by and finish you off. Probably punch you in the nuts and, yeah, I grabbed it. Probably one of them niggas will come by, you know, and Yankee's going to tell you something. You never know. Because it's a wild crowd in that motherfucker, man. But yeah, so I'm going to leave the link to my face. Send me a friend's request on Facebook. Don't send me a message, because I get so many messages, sometimes they get knocked over into a filter. I don't know. Just send me a friend's request. Well, I still have room on my friends list. Send me a friend's request, and I will add you to the group manually, because the group is private. Also, too, swing by the Big Gamer Small Talk apparel store. Get yourself a hat, Scully, scarf, gloves. You know, Big Gamer Small Talk. We have, you know, a little store. Each individual member has their own apparel, and you actually have the group. You know, if you want crap gamer pissing on the PlayStation 4, or crap gamer looking like the albino rhino, you name it, is there. Anyway, on to today's video. And it's something that I've been saying for a very long time, but AMD, you know, confirms what I've been saying on the podcast. First, crap didn't kind of agree with me, but I told these guys, you know what I mean? What happened last generation is rare. You know what I mean? You don't have 10-year-long cycles for consoles. 5 years, new hardware. What happened with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 is that they lost so much money at first, especially with Microsoft with the Red Ring of Death and with the original Xbox. And Sony lost so much money with the Blu-ray and 3D. Like, you know, they was trying to turn a profit, so they stretched it out as long as they can. Then what happened was the Kinect came out, so it was like Microsoft relaunching the Xbox 360 all over again. You know what I mean? That shit took off and sold like hotcakes. So they gave the Xbox 360 another 2 years on the market. But what happened when they did that is that technology kept going forward. And then by the time we got the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, they were like 5, you know, generations behind. You know, they're never, normally, like I said, when the 360 came out, it had the top of the line GPUs and CPU, and, you know, as far as that was in over PC. And then, you know, same thing with the PlayStation 3, they had the top of the line GPU that were out for that time. But they waited so long to come out with a new console. Consoles will never be able to catch PCs now in terms of power. Don't get me wrong. Consoles don't need as much. They're not resource hogs like PCs, you know what I mean? Like Windows or Linux, all that shit is a resource hog, you know what I mean? For consoles don't need all that. It's a closed environment, you know what I mean? But like I said, you know, PC will, from now on, unless Microsoft buys AMD, but that's another story anyway. But anyway, check it out here. It says, during a roundtable discussion at CES, AMD CEO Lisa Su told Tech Radar that consoles work on a 5 to 7 year strategy. That's what I said. We're going to probably see new consoles in 2018. And, you know, either they're going to show them in 2018 and launch in 2018, or we're going to show them in 2018 and be out by 2019 at the earliest. The latest, I'm sorry, because Nintendo's coming out with their 9th generation console already. So they're already going to be ahead of Microsoft and the Xbox One in terms of power. You know what I mean? But it says here, work on a 5 to a 7 year strategy. That's the lifetime of these consoles. Without talking about any particular party console, there will be opportunity to cut to reduce the cost of these consoles. You know what I mean? So They already talking about, they're going to receive another price cut as we near closer to 2018 or whatever. So right now, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are about $300. You know what I mean? So like I said, I expect Microsoft to probably cut the cost of the Xbox One probably down to about 250. This holiday season. Jesus Christ, 250 or 279, which is going to fly off the fucking shelf. You got to realize this too. To think about it, look how much they done came down already. They've been cutting every goddamn year. That's like, that this generation is not going to last that long. The Xbox One launched at $500, right? With the Kinect. You know what I mean? It was $400 without the Kinect, right? Both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 had received a $100 price cut, and they came out in 2013. They've been on the market for about 2 years. It'd be 3 years come this November. So again, it's like I said, this generation is only gonna last 5 to 6 years. Ubisoft has said it. EA has said it. That this because when they launched, they're already so anemic. Look, they're struggling to put out games at 1080p, 60 frames a second. We already have 4K television. That's becoming the norm. The 4K televisions are replacing the 1080p televisions. We talked about 1080p last generation, right? This generation is all about 4K. We're not getting no 4K games from the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One. I would hope that next generation, this is me crossing my fingers, you know what I mean? I know that 1080p 60 frames a second will be the norm, but I'm hoping that if we don't get native 4K, that the games can at least be upscaled to 4K. You know what I mean? Like they did last generation. The games were upscaled to 1080p. And they said they gave it to us native 1080p. So next year, next generation, they're going to be able to upscale the 4K resolution. And then the next generation of that, they give us native 4K resolution. They always keep us behind. You see that shit right there? But yeah, so, but also respect this. Both the Xbox One and the next PlayStation, mark my words, you heard it here first, they will be backwards compatible. Why? Because they're x86. And like I said, being that this is such a short generation, well, not even short, it's the normal generation. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, what happened last generation is not normal. There's never been a console generation that's been so successful. There were no losers. Both the Xbox 360 and the PS3 sold over 90 million units. The Wii with 115, 110 million units. You know what I mean? There's never been a generation so successful. So again, as I was saying, so when you say, but damn, I just got my Xbox One, it still feels kind of new. I understand that. I just got my PlayStation 4 still. I'm not ready. Listen, you're not gonna lose anything because, by 2018, the way that you feel about your console now, you're not gonna feel about it the same way 2 years from now. You're gonna be ready for something new. You know what I mean? Especially they start showing these new teasers of what's gonna be done on the next generation console. We're gonna be right back there, and you can bring your library with you. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I don't suffer from nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool that Microsoft gave us native backward compatibility, but I'm being honest with you. I don't want to play Xbox 360 games. I spent 10 years, 8, 9 years in that generation. I'm done with it. Only thing they can give me all the games that I bought digitally. You know what I mean? Those little arcade titles. We didn't even call them indies last generation. We called them our Xbox arcade titles. They can give me all my arcade titles like Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and stuff like that. But, every game that I bought digitally, I want to have back, within my, on my cloud or whatever the hell they call it. But as far as me, going back playing any of those old games, nah, you know what I mean? And I'm probably going to feel the same way about the Xbox One games and the PlayStation 4 games one time the PS5 and the Xbox Infinity, whatever the hell it's called, comes out, you know what I mean? So like I said, both expect, you know what I mean, to get a price cut probably this coming year, again, for these next generation consoles. Right now they're $300. So like I said, my guess is Microsoft, going to knock it down to 250. That's what they really want to get aggressive, knock it down to 250, 279, 250 this Black Friday. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is your boy Nxtgen 720. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You had AMD also saying here that this generation is only going to last 5 to 7 years, and they don't want to make, but more or less make the chips for all three of the big three, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Why? Because they're cheaper than Nvidia. And Nvidia want their bread. That's the reason why the original Xbox, reason why Microsoft lost so much money on the OG Xbox, because Nvidia, they didn't own the patent to their GPU, and Nvidia wanted their money. They said, "Fuck you, pay me." You know what I mean? The OG Xbox wasn't meant to be sold under $300. Just think about all that they gave to you back then: hard drive, internet port, all that shit you had to pay for as an extra attachment for the PlayStation 2. You had for free all on the box, on the OG Xbox. But when the PlayStation 2 went down to $200, Microsoft was forced to cut their price down to $200. So they really lost on every console sold, you know what I mean? Because Nvidia didn't care about the price cut. Nvidia just wanted their money, you know what I mean? That's why you probably never see Microsoft go with Nvidia again, because like I said, or even Sony. Sony probably can't afford to, you know what I mean? They're very expensive, you know what I mean? But anyway, this is your boy Nxtgen 720. Leave me a comment below. Check out the link down below also to my last video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Nxtgen. Bang bang.